Growing up in Geneva, Ohio, Pete Girard learned how to graft trees from his father. And now he's teaching this art to future generations. He's continuing a family tradition, as well as preserving rare species of trees that can only be propagated by grafting.
Grafting is something that I've always done myself, and I taught my son-in-law how to do, and it's more or less been something in the family that we've gone down through the years. And we graft almost all kinds of evergreens, and it's either new stock that we have collected throughout the United States, or it's material that we have found that is new that we propagate.
This is an example of a young graft.
That's correct. Now this, what we have, the way we graft these, if you notice the needle on it, it's a 2-needle pine.
Right.
We graft this on Scotch pine. We try and graft the 2 needles on 2 needles and 5 needle on 5 needle and so forth.
Oh, for compatibility.
For compatibility.
I remember that from school.
Right.
So this is the same, this, if we were to pull this apart, right, just not pull it apart because that's a plant, but that is the...
That's the signwood. That's the plant, that'll be the...
That's the plant we're after.
Right.
And this is the understock.
Right,
this stick.
Is the understock, which is Scotch pine.
Okay.
That goes down here. We graft our signwood, which is the plant that we want, that we're
Right.
after, onto the Scotch pine. So actually, what you see here, we're using only the roots of the Scotch pine.
And why is that? What's the purpose of grafting for people that don't
the purpose
understand
of
it?
grafting
Like
is
me.
the difficulty in cuttings, making cuttings and get them to grow.
So it's easier to get new plants by grafting.
It is. Not only is it's easier, but it's the only way sometimes where you can't make cuttings or
I didn't
can't make
realize that.
layering. So we graft them.
So this represents, this graft right here, one of how many in a year?
We do roughly between 30 and 40,000, and we graft in the months of November, December, January, and February.
Okay, so then this is grafted. How long until I can have a tree as big as one of the ones out in your garden?
Well, the Jane Cluse will grow on a mound, and I believe that it's from a broom, and it's very moundy growing. And to get one decent size, like in my garden, there's one there, it's probably 3 feet across or so. It'd take you about 6 to 7 years from a plant this size.
Wow. So Pete, this is a mature tree with a graft. It's a really clear example to me of where the graft took. I mean, that's a good job.
Right. It's a wedge graft. We grafted it when the tree was younger.
So how old would this be?
This particular tree is around 8 years old, and it probably was grafted about 6 years ago.
So it's a weeping bald cypress.
It's a weeping bald cypress. This is the understock.
Right here.
Right here. It's the regular bald cypress. And then up here, you could see where the graft is. We grafted it on top.
It's a little fatter at the bottom.
It is. Usually on a graft, you'll find your understock will be a little heavier than the top. Not always.
And is that the only way to propagate the weeping bald cypress, is to use a graft?
That's the only way that I know of, is by grafting it.
And this is a hemlock. Is this a particular special variety?
Yes, that's Bennett's.
Bennett's.
Bennett's hemlock. It has a weeping habit, and it's very attractive. We've found that by growing them from cuttings, Bennett's will take and stay much more compact.
So this habit, you don't do a lot of pruning, it just naturally grows in this sort of form.
It naturally grows the way you see it right there. That's without being trimmed.
And how big ultimately do you think this will get?
Bennett's, I imagine the way that's growing, I'd say that should get up 7, 8 feet high.
But that would still be good for someone with a smaller garden.
It'd be fine. If they take a little trimming, if you wanted to get them down, you could do it. But the graceful effect is what you want. I'd say that it's better just to let it grow.
Leave it alone.
Right, and it'd make a real nice focal point in the garden.
That would be a good use, a focal point.
But
Now this is catching my eye right here, this beautiful purple, that's a purple weeping beech.
that's the Fagus sylvatica purple fountain. And what it's known for, it usually grows in a very narrow growth habit when it's young, and it throws a terminal.
Now when you say throw a terminal, I know you know what that means. I keep thinking you're talking about a computer. I know that you have, so for our viewers, the terminal is the central
Part of the tree.
Okay.
And it grows upright, and it has the center of the tree. It comes up. On Purpurea pendula, it grows numerous tops and usually sprawls out so much more.
And is this tree grafted as well?
It's all the beeches we have is grafted.
All the weeping beeches are grafted.
Right.
So this is Fagus sylvatica purple fountain.
Fagus sylvatica purple fountain.
And it keeps this beautiful color all year long, except when it loses its leaves.
Right, right. And then the thing with beeches is they don't lose all their foliage at one time. They keep them on, and they're very attractive.
This is an Abies?
This is an Abies.
Which is fir.
Which is a fir. And this one here is called Prostrata glauca. It's an excellent tree, and the color of it is as blue as any blue spruce, as you can see. And if you feel the foliage, how soft.
It is soft. It doesn't look soft, but
right.
it is.
Unlike a blue spruce, it's very soft.
Look at the way this is growing, right? Did you intentionally site these two next to each other?
Originally we did, yeah.
So how do you decide, because you've come up with beautiful colors together?
Well, for one thing, you try and get a little different color as you plant. We have dwarf Canadian hemlock, which wasn't originally designed to be put in here, but were found in many thousands of seedlings. And they're green. And then here we have our silver, and then we put the purple one in the background.
Now this looks blue to me.
It is. Well, it runs from a silver to a blue depending on the time of the year. But it's a gorgeous tree.
It is gorgeous. It really is.
It's also is known as a noble fir.
Right, the noble fir.
Nobilis is the other name that it goes by, but the regular noble fir on the average does not have colors like this. You have to graft select forms in order to get this.
So this is another grafted plant?
It's a grafted plant. Most everything in the garden is grafted other than some of the hemlocks and so forth.